I am tired, I mean really tired of hearing the pro-abortionists who treat killing an unborn child as not just some divine right, but as a desired outcome of a pregnancy. And they rail against the pro-life community and accuse us of not caring about a baby after it's born. That is a despicable lie. It is the kind of misinformation. It is. That's the kind of misinformation that ought to get those who spread it banned on Facebook and Twitter. But of course it won't. No. Social media platforms are more than willing accomplices in the killing of babies and in the cover-up of what the so-called pro-choicers really believe. Truth is, they aren't for real choice. But the only choice that they're for is the one that involves an abortion in which a baby is ripped to shreds by surgical instruments and the body parts are discarded like used paper towels. There are at least 808 kill centers like Planned Parenthood. They make big money selling abortions all over the country. And sadly, some of America's corporate giants not only support the abortion industry, but in light of the recent Supreme Court ruling that moved the decision back to the real democracy of the people's elected representatives, we better understand the reason behind corporate America's blind support of abortion. Companies ranging from left-leaning Amazon, which we would expect, to even once more conservative companies like Tyson Foods, the world's largest protein producer. They're from my home state of Arkansas. And these companies are offering to pay for the abortions of their employees by paying for their travel to an abortion-friendly state if they happen to currently live in a state where the people have voted not to kill a big portion of the next generation. Now, you may wonder, why? Why would companies do this? I hate to tell you, but the answer is simple. If you run a big corporation, an abortion is cheaper than maternity leave or prenatal health care for the mom. It's cheaper than years of health care coverage for a child on the employer's compensation package. I mean, to be blunt, big corporations just don't care much about you having children. They'd rather you just have an abortion because it makes them more money. They just really aren't into you that much if you're a woman. For all the talk about being for women, they're not. Now, if you think that sounds crass and cruel, okay. But you tell me what's more cruel than paying to kill babies, but not offering those same employees the money to travel to another state to adopt a baby. Why don't they do that? Now, this lie that the pro-life people don't care is laughable. There are over 3,000 crisis pregnancy centers in the United States, and they provide real choice for women. Most provide pregnancy testing and ultrasound screenings at no cost. Most provide counseling, free tests for STD, and most all of them not only provide services for the pregnancy, but after the baby is born. They provide for baby clothes and cribs and diapers and strollers and car seats and more. Last week, Senator Elizabeth Warren spoke out. You know, I think we ought to change the letter W in her last name to a B and just call her Elizabeth Barron. Because in a fiery public speech, she announced that she wants to shut down all the crisis pregnancy centers in the country. In other words, if a woman isn't willing to kill her unborn child, Senator Barron thinks that no one should be able to help you keep that baby by offering actual health care. You know, when the pro-abortionists use words like reproductive health, they're lying. There's nothing reproductive about an abortion. In fact, it ends reproduction. It doesn't preserve a life. Fact is, an abortion is the only medical procedure that is carried out in which at least one patient will absolutely die from the treatment. And sadly, the death is going to be unnecessary, unwanted by the actual victim, and potentially harmful medically to the mother. Through the course of a year, I speak at fundraising events for crisis pregnancy centers all over the country. Almost none of them take any taxpayer money, unlike Planned Parenthood that couldn't live without funding from the government. And try asking Planned Parenthood for an ultrasound a car seat, baby clothes, or diapers. You'll discover they're not in the reproductive health business at all. They are only in the abortion business. You pay, they slay. Blunt? Yeah. But enough lies about the people pretending to be about health and then vowing a war against the clinics that actually provide help to expectant mothers. And by the way, lately those clinics have been targets of ruthless terrorism that includes firebombing, graffiti sprayed on their exteriors, windows being shattered, and workers harassed while just simply coming to work. Elizabeth Warren vows she's going to shut those down, all those crisis pregnancy centers. I think it's time that we shut down the killing machines like Planned Parenthood, and we shut down senators like Elizabeth Warren by sending them home. And when we send them home, maybe we can replace them with senators who believe in real choice and who believe in real children.